One more time. Sorry.
Oh, we shouldn't sing
Here
and
we
sing
go.
today.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
End scene. We'll talk about that in a minute, but hey,
God.
guys.
Okay. Shoo.
I
Hi.
know. Hey,
It
welcome
is
back.
crime talk.
Ooh, crime talk. Crime talk.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay. I know we still need to come up with a jingle jangle for
Uh,
this,
uh,
but
uh, Stop. Why don't we just sit here and stare at each other? Because that could be the whole episode of
right?
us
You could just
talking our
move your
minds.
lips and I'll, say the stuff and then we'll take turns.
Can you imagine if we did that a whole hour of
Oh
just
my
staring at
God.
each other?
That would, that would be great.
Oh my
Hmm.
God. But thank you. Thank you for making me laugh because we were just, before we logged on, we were talking about some very stressful things in my life because
Yeah.
Nina's my therapist. Okay. And she
You're
could be
funny.
yours too if you DM her for a phrase with Nina.
You're so funny.
She won't
Oh
even
man.
charge. That's the best
It
part.
it was very frightening though what you were telling me. I was
God.
like,
I
wow.
know, I know. I had to text. I know. I wish I would have waited till today to tell you,
Mhm.
but like to see your face, but I couldn't. So I want to thank you for letting me have a little therapy sesh.
Oh, no. No, no. Thank you because that was interesting tea there.
Oh
Um,
God. But
yeah.
yeah, how are you besides my
Oh,
tea?
I'm good. Not bad. I had a doctor's appointment this morning for my
Oh,
foot.
oh, how is it?
It's fine. She basically told me to come back because my foot, so okay, it's so weird. It's so gross. I even hate saying this. I
What?
have an ingrown
I
toenail.
like,
I
ay,
know.
ay, ay,
And I've had it
canta no llores.
I have had it since July or maybe even June.
Ow.
Yes. And um I thought it got better because I thought I got it.
Okay.
I didn't because
Ow.
I waited a couple weeks since last week. I made my appointment because I had to wait for the freaking referral. I was so
Yeah.
irritated. And that's when I really needed the doctor, right? And I was able to get it. And I was like, oh. And so I was over there like dancing around. I'm like, look, it doesn't hurt. Well, I guess the nail now is
Alla
growing
guys,
back
guy.
and it's hurting.
Shit. So
So,
why didn't they help you today? What
because
happened?
she said that being that I cut it when I
Oh,
did, she said
okay.
there's obviously enough nail there for her to take it out. She said, but she would rather do it when it's inflamed
Oh
because
God.
this way she'll get the whole nail that is bothersome out and the root. So she could
Okay.
still have gotten the root today, but she said that it's better. She didn't want to, she would have to actually cut off a lot of healthy nail. And I'm like, uh, she goes, and the thing is, and she goes, soak your foot. What did she say? Don't wear like tight shoes, which I don't. And
Hmm.
then she goes, what was the other thing she said? Oh, and she showed me this thing where you could put like tape. So like hopefully
To
the nail
protect
grows
it.
straight
Oh, okay.
versus out.
I'm sorry,
I don't
Neen.
know.
Oh,
So
ow.
annoyed.
I've been clenching. Let me unclench.
Yeah, for
Okay.
real. So that was my morning.
I'm so sorry. That's
I
horrible. And you drive a lot too, so I can imagine that you're just in constant pain.
Well, the thing was is that I've been wanting to do yoga. And the
Uh-huh.
problem is that in yoga, yoga you use your feet a lot, like your
Yes.
toes to like balance or like you put your foot back and that's where it hurts is
Oh,
like having to like put my foot a certain way. So I'm like it's bothersome
yeah,
and
of
I'm
course.
like I don't like that feeling. And that's what I told her. I was like, "Oh, I was like part of me was like let's just take it out." But I'm like, "No, I don't need like a jacked up it already
Yeah.
looks jacked up. I don't
I'm
need to look
s-
even more jacked up,
I
you
mean,
know?"
she just listened to the doctor.
Yeah.
And in the meantime,
So,
just do some restorative yoga. Like that's very nice and
yeah,
gentle. So
exactly. And that's what I'm just like
I'm
so
sorry.
annoyed. It's always
Oh,
something, if it's not one thing, it's another.
girl, amen. I'm sorry. Like it
Yeah.
is just, can we slow down a bit? Could we slow down?
Right. Can we? I don't know. I don't know because it seems like it's in full force. Halloween's going to be here,
It's
then
literally, yeah.
Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year's.
Oh
Even though I love this
God.
time of year, it's
Me
just a lot.
too. But you know what I love about this time of year? Yes, folks, we're going to talk about weather again. I like feeling the fall breeze in the air, and I haven't felt one damn breeze. And it's October 19th as we're recording this right now.
Damn. Really? It's even over there, it's been
No, it's
like
hotter than freaking hell in my
even
house.
at night?
No, at night, it's because our house, like, because of all the windows, it cooks in here. Like, one of
Hmm.
the things on our to-do list is it's expensive, but we want to get like blind, like
Yeah,
all the
those,
blinds redone because there's no
right.
blinds on the left side. There's no blinds on the other side because they broke. So
Oh
we're just
no.
cooking, and then and upstairs, so all the heat rises, and so I have the Dyson working in overtime all
Hmm.
night long, and then I wake up like all stuffed because I had
Yeah.
the air the whole time.
Hmm.
But yeah, but at least I'll get to go to teach my Zumba class, and over there it's cold. So I'm
That's
excited.
true.
Yay.
I know, right? It's just one of those things. It's like, ugh, there's no escaping it, the heat. And even when
No.
it's cold, I like to have like the fan on because I
Yeah.
like to feel like you have to cuddle or like
Yeah.
get under covers and get cozy.
I want to wear a cozy blanket. I want to turn the heater on. Like that heater
Hmm.
is like going to be dusty as hell by the time we need it because we haven't touched it since I don't even know when.
I
God.
know. Same here. We haven't even last year during winter, I told everybody do not turn on the heater.
Ugh.
I was like, we have blankets, let's use them.
Exactly. And do you guys have AC?
We do.
Okay, so every year around this time, I'm like, why haven't we like installed AC? But of course, I live with Angel, and she's all about like turning the light, like electricity and the
Hmm.
polar bears. And so I'm
Oh,
like,
oh shoot.
hi.
Oh shoot. What's up with the polar bears?
Well, the ice caps are melt. I don't know. She tries to like come at me with like
Oh.
animals so that I
Hmm.
understand like we need to take care of the environment.
Meanwhile, the polar bears are fine.
Yeah, they're chilling, but like, you know me, because I'm like, whatever, I'll be long gone by the time the earth like blows up. And then she's like,
I
well,
know, right? No, I'm the same way. And Tony's like, well, don't think like that. I'm like, "Oh, seriously? I was like, because, and people are going to probably send hate mail, but even recycling, I try to recycle. I try,
yes.
but it irritates me, especially with this compost stuff.
Oh,
I don't need maggots crawling out of my freaking garbage because of things that you can't throw away in the normal trash.
yeah, I
I
hear
just,
that.
I can't.
Mm-mm.
But, I'm proud of the people that can do it. It's just not
Yeah,
ingrained in
good,
me.
good for you guys. I mean, I do recycle for the most part, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's about it. I don't
But
grow.
I realized because I always thought something that's plastic, you just recycle. Something that's paper, you just recycle. And then I think it was Brandy. I grabbed something one time, and I don't know if it was at her house or whatever, but she goes, "Oh, you can't recycle that." And I go, "But it's plastic." She goes, "Oh no, on the bottom or something, it says like a number, which will tell you if that belongs in there."
Okay, I'm not trying to do paperwork or
Yeah, me
extra like
neither.
administrative tasks when I'm in my kitchen. Okay,
Thank you. Exactly.
what the
And
hell?
Brandy goes, I know it's stupid, but and I go, I know. And I go, I just don't have patience for that. I just
Ugh,
can't. No,
I don't
there's too many things
either.
that they tell us we can and can't do already. And it's like, don't tell me what I'm going to do in my house.
Okay, like
So
let us
I
have
think
some
on
rules.
purpose, it's me just like getting back at the government.
I hear you. I'm the same way. But
Oh,
yeah,
just
I
like I
want.
get mad at my mom. Like Tony's like, why didn't you listen? I'm like, I've been like this since I was young. Okay.
Oh
Like I
my gosh.
purposefully do not listen.
Oh my God, yours.
It's like, don't nag me because I won't listen even more.
Oh, see the nag. I'm with you. I'll do it 10
Mhm.
times harder.
Oh,
So
for real. And Tony's like, just listen. Why don't you just do it? But why? I want to do it on my time. I don't want
exactly. I'll
someone to
get to
tell
it.
me.
Like it has to, you have to want to. You have to have the feeling.
Hmm.
I don't have the
Exactly.
feeling.
Goodness. But how are you, Steph? You've been flying solo for a few days.
I can't sleep at night, but other than that, everything's been going good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like to have alone time and sing at the top of my lungs and the puppies and everything. I miss Angel like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but like I'm happy she's like spending time with her family and she got there safe.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just at night, it's like it's dark in here in the windows. Oh my God.
I know.
But and then last night I was up like researching and I was scaring the shit out as you saw. Like I was
Hmm.
like, what's that behind me?
Oh, it's fantastic. I was in the shower when I saw that post because I watched my television in the shower,
Yeah.
and I'm like, or my phone. I said television. That'd be funny if I had one in there. But when you posted that, before you even said that, I go because I saw that shadow. It
Uh-huh.
looked like a head with
Uh-huh.
shoulders. And I'm like, what is that? And then you were like, and then and then I stopped it because I wanted to see what it was, and that was your face. And
I
I
know.
texted you, I go, oh my God, your face
I
it says everything.
it was like the fear of God. And I was like, a freaking orchid leaf. But yeah. So
Man.
I
Oh,
didn't
so
get to
that's what it
bed.
was. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, Angel has her whole like bookcase and shelves of orchids, and that one looks like a human being, like because it's up
Wow.
high,
Yeah,
and
for
it's right by the
real.
scary like door, which she looks out into the street, like our balcony door, and I'm like,
Yeah,
someone's
see.
across the way, probably staring at me, and it's 1 in
Yeah.
the morning.
No, mm-mm. See, that's why I would get curtains or shades. I can't handle, like, if I'm in the woods, which is not often because I'm not a woodsy person, but if I'm
Oh,
in the woods, I'm gonna need a place that has curtains where I could shut them. I
yeah,
don't like seeing darkness in the yonder.
no, because that's
I
where
can't.
Slender Man lives.
Yes, because you don't know who's looking at
You
you.
do not. There are
I
people. Okay, I'm convinced. Anyways, when are we going camping?
know. It's like, no, I
You're so
can't.
cute.
Not cool.
Uh,
Not cool at all. But
no,
okay,
not
well,
at
I'm glad
all.
you're okay. You only have a few more days, so.
Yes, she's back Saturday night and I'm gonna just smell her. Oh, I miss her
Mm.
smell. She's like a little sweet
How's
smelling
the weather
angel.
over there?
Oh my God, I forgot to ask. I
I wonder
always
if
just
it's
assume it's
chilly.
snowing.
Oh, I know, right? I can't believe how cold it gets over there.
Girl, like okay, speaking of which, I went to Marshall's yesterday, shocker, and
Mm-hmm.
I found earmuffs galore. And this time I grabbed a pair because last year I was like, I need earmuffs like for when we go to Canada because my
Mm-hmm.
ears hurt.
Wow.
And they were all sold out. So this time I grabbed a pair because
Good.
that's how cold it is. It is ear achingly
Shoot.
cold over there.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I have never experienced cold to that level.
Uh-uh.
But it was like
Uh-uh.
negative when you went.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so I maybe I'll
Dang.
conjure up thoughts of that feeling to get me through this like heat wave over here because it's ridiculous. It's supposed to rain on Sunday though, so that makes me feel good, like
Oh,
cozy
I love
weather.
that when it like rains and cleans out, all the dust and
Yeah.
it smells so good. Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's
Oh, so I
perfect.
can't wait for that. But that's pretty
Amazing.
much all my latest updates. Lots of talking to the puppies, dancing, singing in the house loudly to keep myself company. It's been good.
There's something so serene and nice about being alone sometimes, and
Yeah. Like
just
I'm
being able to be
reading.
yourself. Yeah. Not that
Totally.
you can't be yourself around Angel, but it's
Yeah.
a different feeling. It's kind of
Yeah.
liberating.
It is because I always feel like I have to have everything clean. She doesn't expect that, but I'm my mother. And so everything's
Mm-hmm.
like, everything's put away. Girl, the sink is crowded. Like there's stuff on the island from my shopping excursion yesterday. There's
Uh-huh.
like feet out of the, I
Oh.
mean, I'm still making the bed though. So I'm like, okay. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh, I love it.
living
Amazing.
crazy.
Oh, no, right? Oh my gosh, that's amazing it though. I feel like it's something that we all should experience once in our life.
Definitely. It's good. It's good to be alone every now and then.
Yeah.
Makes you appreciate yourself, but also your partner too. And I miss
Oh,
her. So it's
oh,
great.
hands down. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna have to edit this. Hold on.
No.
I don't know, like dust got in my throat or something. I don't know. That was like a phantom cough. Anyways, crime talk, crime talk. What are we
Crime
gonna talk
talk, crime,
about?
crime, 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 crime. Okay, so today I wanted to bring you a case that's actually not from the 90s, okay? But I
Ooh.
figured out a loophole because this case is based on one of our favorite 90s scary movie. Can you guess what it is? And here's a hint, we just covered it this week.
Scream?
Yes, this case is based on the movie Scream. So you already know it's going to be creepy as fuck. All
Yeah,
right.
for
So
real. Wait, hold
hence,
on. But didn't we? So is there another? There's.
so, so Scream, the movie Scream was loosely based on that serial killer. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where that inspiration came
Oh,
from.
okay.
This case got its inspiration from the movie.
Oh, that's creepy. Good Lord.
And
I
finally, I
don't
remember the
know.
guy's name, Danny Rawling. So yeah, Scream was based on the Gainesville Ripper, Danny Rawling, and this case is based loosely, but you'll see the similarities on the movie Scream. So It's even known around the world as the Scream Murder. And it involves four teenagers from Pocatello, Idaho.
Hmm.
So, yes, before we
Wow.
begin, as always, I want to give you some trigger warnings for descriptions and discussions of a violent crime, including the descriptions of the crime scene, the injuries sustained, and the events leading up to the murder. So, listener discretion is, as always, strongly advised. So, as I mentioned, this case involves four 16-year-old teenagers who were all friends and went to the same high school, which was Pocatello High. The four teens were Cassie Jo Stoddart, Brian Draper, Tori Adamchick, and Matt Beckham. Casey and Matt were actually boyfriend and girlfriend. And on the evening of September 22nd, 2006, they had made plans to hang out together and cupcake, if you will. So it was perfect because Cassie had agreed to house sit for her aunt and uncle, Allison and Frank Contreras, for the weekend. And I am sure she appreciated the company as they lived in a remote ass place. Does
Hmm.
that sound
Of
familiar
course.
already?
Right?
Okay.
Dang.
Yes.
Hmm.
So the Contreras home was located on Whispering Cliffs Drive, which was in the northeast part of Bannock County. So, do you remember the town where the movie Scream took place? The name of the town?
Oh, Whisper? No.
Woodsboro.
Oh, okay. I knew it started with the W.
Crazy, but isn't
Yeah,
that
for real.
crazy?
And that's a
Okay.
creepy place to what is it? Whisper?
Whispering Cliffs Drive is
Ooh.
where the house was located, and it was a big house. It was about 2 acres big, and that's
Dang.
big.
Okay, so that's similar. Okay.
Uh-huh,
Mm.
exactly. And the Contreras family called it their dream home. And I don't think that they were living there for very long when this took place. And in fact, I think I read that they were Bay Area natives and then they relocated over there because they were
Wow.
able to afford this home. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
cheaper.
Yeah.
So Frank Contreras and a bunch of other people all said the same thing about Cassie. She was a good girl, straight A student, never had a problem with anyone, and was super responsible. And this is the reason why the Contreras family entrusted her to take care of their home and all of their pets. They had like dogs and cats. And so on the night of September 22nd, 2006, Cassie arrived at the home and got settled in, fed the dogs and the cats, and waited for her boo to arrive. So she is just, right on schedule. And I should note that because she was such a responsible kid, she had let her aunt and uncle know that Matt was going to come over to keep her company. So, like, she asked for permission. And they
Mm-hmm.
were totally cool with it as they knew him too. And again, they trusted her. So,
Mm-hmm.
everything's on the up and up. So, when Matt got there at around 6 p.m. or so, they sat down to watch TV. A little after Matt arrived, their two friends, Tori and Brian, pulled up to hang out with them. Cassie was like, "The fuck? Can I help you?
Right?
Like, are you
I hate when
lost?"
people do that.
Oh,
Ugh.
never show up unless it's you or Annie. Never show up at my house without an invitation. Okay.
Yeah, because I ain't answering. Okay?
I'm not home permanently. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So she
Mm-mm.
had the same reaction. But Matt didn't seem phased by it. He was like, it's fine, just let them in since they were his boys. They were like, hey, what up? So they came inside and they acted surprised, like, oh, we thought that there was a party going on. Where is everyone? And Cassie was like, no, there's no party, but feel free to hang out, I guess. And before they all went to go sit down in the living room, Cassie gave them a tour of the house. The tour included going down to the basement. Remember that. So, after they walked around the house, the foursome settled on the couch to watch the movie Kill Bill 2. Before the
Hmm.
movie ended, Tori and Brian told the couple that they were bored since there was no party and they were leaving to go watch what? A movie at a nearby movie theater. You were just on the couch watching a movie, but you're bored, but you're going to go watch a movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's weird.
So,
Okay. Hmm.
they're basically leaving to do the same thing, but whatever. Cassie and Matt, on the other hand, were like, finally, bye.
So
So,
Matt did not invite them.
no,
He just probably mentioned they were going over there, and that's how
yes, like,
they
oh, Cassie's aunt and uncle are out of town. I'm going to go keep her company. Like, so
gotcha.
they knew that Cassie was house sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened in the Scream movie? Well, whose house was that? Was that Randy's house that they had the
Mm,
big party at?
I think, yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Exactly.
So like it's just the thing. Oh, okay. Well, they do it in the movies. You know, the parents go out of town, so there must be some rager happenings. Let's go over there.
Exactly.
So, P.S. I've never done that, and I always wanted to because I thought it was cool on
Same here.
TV.
I always wanted to do it too, but I'm like,
Like
hell, if anybody showed
90210.
up at my house, they'd find me like eating popcorn, watching a movie myself.
Yeah, like
Boring.
with a face mask and cucumbers. Too bad I didn't wear braces because I could wear that really cool headgear.
Oh my God, I always wanted to wear that.
I know,
Oh,
you weirdo. I always wanted
oh my God.
braces too. It was
Or like
so
remember the one
special.
that they
Oh,
put
the
on your teeth
bands?
and it's
Yeah.
like plastic? I
Yes.
always wanted to wear that too
Oh
as
my
like a mouth
God.
guard.
Yes. And like they came in different colors and you got to pull them and put them in the really cool like container that
Yes.
made a clasp noise. I loved it.
Yes.
I would have a hot pink one,
I
obviously.
tried someone's on before.
Oh my God, you're sick.
Ah, my dad's friends' daughters, they all had retainers and they lined them up in their bathroom. And I had to go pee one day when we were at their
No.
house. And I'm like, oh. So all I wanted to do was hear it click on my teeth, like the little,
Yeah.
you know?
Did
So
it?
I got soap and I washed it in the sink and I put it in my mouth and I was just like playing with it like this. I'm like, it didn't fit, obviously, but yeah, I'm so weird. I can't believe I said
No,
that.
that's a really cool, like a little tidbit I didn't know about you. That's awesome.
Oh God, here I go.
Yep. But anyways, there was no party. So they dipped and the lovebirds were like, cool, we can watch our movie now. So that's what they
Mhm.
continue to do. They watch their movie. Sometime later, and not that much later, it was like maybe 10, 15 minutes, the power suddenly went out. Hell to the motherfucking no, especially in a big ass house located on a remote part of
Right
Idaho.
in
What
the
the,
boonies.
no.
Mm-mm.
And what's worse, this part freaked me out, especially last night. What's worse was that Cassie noticed that the family dogs were staring down towards the basement stairs,
Ooh.
growling and barking.
No, see,
Nope.
I would have
Uh-uh.
hightailed it out of there.
Exactly. My ass would have been like, it would have been like a dust cloud. That's how fast I would have been out of there.
I'm
Like,
telling you, if you even tell me that Matt went down to the garage, I'm gonna flip my lid.
well,
There's
he
always
did
stupid
not.
people that do that. Okay, good.
So they were like sitting there, like, "Whoop," and Matt notices that Cassie is tripping. She's scared. And
Mm-hmm.
so he decides to call his mom and ask if he could stay the night with her to keep her company. Mom was like, nice try, buddy. There's no way in hell you're having a slumber party with your girlfriend like supervised. But she did, however, tell Matt that Cassie could stay with them for the night and that she would even drop her back off at the house the next morning. This is the part in the movie where the audience breathes in a huge sigh of relief, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. However, Cassie, being the responsible teen that she was, politely declined the offer because she did not want to leave the pets and the house unattended. So
Mm-hmm.
around 10:30 p.m., Matt's mom arrived to pick him up to drive him home. Cassie was now alone. Okay. It is your finger. It is important to note that Matt called Tori after he left Cassie's to see what they were up to. But when he answered, Tori was whispering. And Matt couldn't hear what Tori said, but he assumed that the whispering meant he and Brian were still at the movie theater. Okay. Now, on Sunday, so this was Friday, on Sunday, September 24th, 2006, the Contreras family returned home after their little weekend getaway. The couple's 13-year-old daughter ran ahead of them inside, as kids do. And let me tell you, nothing could prepare anyone for what she discovered. There in the living room, in a pool of her own blood, lay the body of Cassie. She had been stabbed approximately 30 times and had bled to death.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah. So, what the fuck happened? Who
Yeah,
could have
for
done
real.
this? I'm going to pause for your guess.
Uh-huh. Was
That's
it the
okay. You don't have to
sorry,
guess.
sorry, I'm still a little irritated at the fact that did Matt not check on her Saturday?
You know what? And he did not physically. He
Mm-hmm.
called. He called her Saturday just to see
Mm-hmm.
how her night was. He called her a couple of times. Then
Mm-hmm.
he called Sunday, but by Sunday the family had returned. right? And they see this and they call the police. And
Hmm.
so he finds out quickly, and you'll see why. Okay. So let's go back to Friday night though for a second. Matt leaves at 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
Cassie sits back down to watch TV and ends up falling asleep on the couch. What Cassie didn't know was that she wasn't alone. Okay. So Brian and Tori were actually hiding out in the basement, waiting for the perfect time to pounce. Now, how did they manage to sneak back into the house undetected after they left? Well, remember that house tour? So, when the 14s had gone down into the basement, one of the boys had sneakily unlocked the door down there so that they could come back later without anyone realizing. They actually came back minutes after they left for the quote unquote movie and snuck back in through the basement door and just waited for the right moment to make their move. That's why the dogs were tripping. The dogs were like parked right by the basement stairs. Okay. They,
Interesting.
yeah. And they apparently tried to scare Matt and Cassie by making loud noises downstairs, but the couple apparently didn't hear anything. Apparently. Okay. They
Hmm.
allegedly.
So were they
So
just trying to scare them? Like, is that the whole point? Or are
we'll
they
see.
Mm,
So
I'm
when they didn't
scared?
hear, because here's the thing, the intention behind the noises, they wanted Matt to go downstairs. They wanted Matt and Cassie to go downstairs to see what the commotion was. That was their motive for the noise. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Oh man,
they
this is
didn't.
getting good because I'm like, okay, did they want to kill them? Did they just want to scare them? Was there someone else there that wanted to kill them? Okay, this is okay.
So when they
Gosh.
didn't hear the noise, that's when they decided to cut the power. Okay. So they cut the power. Matt calls mom. Mom says no. She can come sleep over. Cassie says no. So then Matt hangs out for a bit. I couldn't read anywhere if he went down to investigate, but I doubt it because they were down there and he would have seen. But he was there with Cassie, comforting her, hanging out. Then mom picks him up at 10:30 and then Cassie's alone. So after he leaves, they wait a bit longer, like maybe just, I don't know, like 20 minutes, I think it was minutes. And then
Hmm.
they go upstairs to look for Cassie. So Cassie was lying on the couch and she had fallen asleep. Shockingly enough, she fell asleep. Okay. So she was
Mm.
asleep, and these two surprise her by opening the closet door or some door right there, opening it and slamming it shut. Okay. They,
Okay, that would kill me right
but
there. They
hold
wouldn't even
on.
have to kill me.
They didn't, that noise didn't wake her. So what they do is they attack her with a large hunting knife. And the worst part, Neen, was they were wearing horrible white masks while they were doing it.
Uh,
So if you remember, I don't know which scream it was.
mhm.
Was it the first one? Remember the knife that he first stabbed her with? Was it a kitchen knife that he grabbed, or was it like a sheet, like one of those like weird angled hunting
Mhm.
knives?
Trying to think. I think it was a kitchen knife because
Okay.
I
I remember her
remember.
grabbing it
Yeah,
to protect
exactly. And that
herself.
was a normal.
Okay. But the similarity, like in one of the scenes in the movie, I remember he busts
Pop.
out from the
Yeah,
closet in the
exactly.
Drew
And I could
Barrymore
see him
scene.
moving.
Yeah. And then another one was the white mask. Now, the masks that they wore, I've seen pictures of the masks that they actually wore. It's not the ghost face mask, but it is a white mask, and it's ugly. Like it's scary. It looks like I want to say like what are those things? Mimes, kind of?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like a
Hmm.
mime mask, kind of, with like red on it. It was tore up.
Oh
So
man.
they attack her with this large hunting knife and they proceed to stab her all over her body about 30 times. Cassie
Wow.
fought like hell, but she was no match against these two. And when they were done, they left her there to bleed to death, and then they ran to their car. One thing I want to mention is that they recorded their reactions, or confessions, I should say,
Oh my
right
gosh.
after committing the murder. which I've seen. Okay. It's available online. I was going to play the audio here, but I do not want to contaminate your ears with their evil and stupid voices. And I say stupid because they're stupid, and you'll see why.
Ugh,
So
I can only
these
imagine.
lunatics were so elated by what they had just done. Brian stated, I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Tori replied back, I'm shaking. After this evil celebration, the two drove off. Now, on Sunday, when
Tori is a girl, right?
no, he's a boy.
Oh, he's a boy. Okay. I'm
So,
like,
oh, sorry, I
hmm.
should have specified. They're two
You might have. I
sniveling
might have missed that
wimps.
part, but I'm like, hmm.
Yeah. So Sunday, the Contreras family, they find Cassie's body and immediately call the police, who begin their investigation right away. First, they get in touch with Matt, her boyfriend, since he was the last person to see Cassie. You know, the uncle confirmed this, like, no, she was
Mm-hmm.
with her boyfriend. Now, Matt was really forthcoming about that night, but one of the things that stuck out to the officers was his lack of emotion. His girlfriend had just been brutally murdered. Okay. Wouldn't he, I don't know, cry or look like something like your
Yeah,
girlfriend, you know, like,
exactly. Distraught.
but he wasn't. So they kept his
Mm.
peepers, they kept their peepers on him, I should say. But
Mm-hmm.
they moved on to a couple of Joes that Matt mentioned had also seen Cassie Friday night, Brian and Tori. Now, the cops called Brian and Tori in for questioning. And Neen, let me tell you, this was the quickest interview known to man. Okay. So obviously they were interviewed separately, but they stuck to their planned alibi and told police that they had in fact gone over to Cassie's aunts and uncle's house to hang out with Cassie and Matt, but that they had left to go watch a movie at a nearby movie theater. The officer asks them what movie they went to go see. Hello. And they both gave the name, the movie Pulse. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what movie that is. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
horror movie though. And
Mm-hmm.
when the officer asked each boy to tell them the plot of the movie, they were stumped and they couldn't answer. And suddenly, Brian breaks down and tells police everything, or rather, his version of everything. He claimed that they had planned this elaborate joke to scare Cassie, and he was just stunned when Tori started stabbing her. Like, what? And he
Mm-hmm.
claimed to not know that he was going to do this, and that he, Tori, had, oh no, sorry, Brian, had nothing to do with her murder. So it was all Tori. Like, oh my God, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, he couldn't believe it. And once he spilled the beans, he led the police to Black Rock Canyon, which is where he and Tori had gone to after murdering Cassie. They had disposed of several things, including the clothes they wore during the murder, the masks, the weapon, the video camera, and several videotapes. They had attempted to set fire to the tapes, but thankfully, the police were able to recover the footage and used it to arrest and charge the two with murder on September 27th, 2006. Okay. And before we
Wow.
discuss the trial, let's talk about these tapes. So I mentioned one thing that they recorded, and that's their confession. Oh, girl, there were so many tapes of them prior to the murder that make you wonder how the hell did anyone not step in? One
Damn.
tape showed the two in class, okay, loudly talking about their plans to murder several other classmates. A classmate overheard them talking and were like, what the fuck are you doing? And Tori and Brian were all, oh, we're just talking about our movie. Because, yes, they claimed to be making a horror movie. The classmate was like, oh, okay. And the reason probably is that they were known around school to be obsessed with scary movies, a la
Wow.
Randy.
Exactly. Shoot.
Okay.
Wow.
And another tape found was of them driving to Cassie's aunt and uncle's house. And I just pulled the transcript so I could read it. And I wanted to read this part in particular in its entirety because it's so unbelievably stupid. I couldn't just pull a few quotes. Okay, I had to just this part.
Dang.
So let me set the scene. Tori's driving, and Brian is on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, and he's filming. Okay.
That's the song.
Yes. So,
Uh-huh.
so Brian, we found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddart and her friends. And Tori says to a passing car, God, turn your brights off, asshole. Brian, we'll let you. Haha. We'll find out if she has friends over. If she's going to be alone in a big dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude. Tori, I'm horny just thinking about it. Brian, hell yeah. So we're going to fucking kill her and her friends and we're going to keep moving on. I heard some news about, and then the name is redacted. This is another person. She's going to be home alone from 6 to 7. So we might kill her and drive over to Cassie's thing and scare the shit out of them and kill them one by fucking one. Hell yeah.
Oh my
Tori,
gosh.
why one by one? Why can't it be a slaughterhouse? Brian, 2 by 2 and 3 by 3, because we got to keep it classy.
Okay, they are so stupid.
Tori, keep it classy.
Oh.
Brian, so yeah, it's going to be extra fun. Tori, you're evil. Ha ha. Brian, yes, I am. So are you, dude. Evil. Evil.
Okay,
Hold on. Do you see why I had to read it to you?
Oh my gosh.
And then Tori, no, evil is an expression of God. That was another test you failed. Brian, evil is not an expression of God. Tori, yes, it is. Brian, that is bullshit and you fucking know it. Tori, evil of origin is a follower of fucking Satan. Brian, there is no Satan. Tori, is Satan real? Then shut up. Sorry.
Oh my
Brian.
God.
Then how are we supposed to express ourselves? Tori, good and bad. Brian, we're bad. Tori,
I'm dizzy.
we are bad. Brian, that sounds so shitty. Tori, we're evil. That sounds even shittier. Hold on to your pants. Brian, hey, we're not okay. Then we are sick psychopaths who get their pleasure off killing other people. Tori, that sounds good, baby.
What the hell is
Brian,
wrong with
are
these
you
two?
ready? We're going to go down in history. We're going to be just like Scream, except real life terms.
Oh,
Tori,
God.
that sounds good, baby. Brian, we're going to be murderers. Let's see. Ted Bundy, like the Hillside Strangler. Tori, no. Brian, the Zodiac Killer. So I'm going to pause for my own interjection. They're now trying to be all like, we're going to be like these serial killers because they know none of them. They're naming like the most famous ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the hell. So I thought that was funny.
Oh.
And then he's like, we're going to be like the Zodiac Killer. And then Tori, those people were more amateurs compared to what we're going to be. We're going to be more higher of sources of Ed. And then Brian, Gein, Tori, Gein, because Ed Gein is a notorious serial killer. But the thing that kills me is that Ed Gein didn't kill that many people. So, okay. He was twisted, but, and then Brian laughs and he says, well, let's say that we're sick. We're that sick and that twisted. Tori, oh, you know what Ed Gein's words were? Brian, what? Tori, he saw a girl walking down the street, right? Brian, yeah, I'm almost done. Tori, 2 questions came to his head. I could take her out and have a nice time with her. Brian, and then kill her, skin her alive. Tori, charm the pants off of her. Or I wonder what her head would look like on a stick. Brian, holy shit, haha. Tori, it's creepy, huh? Brian, kick ass. And then Tori and Brian burst out laughing, and Brian says, murder is power. Murder is freedom. Goodbye. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you see why I had to read that particular?
Yes.
Okay. So
and
that's
I had to look up those 2 dipshits and their pictures.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they're creepy looking.
Yes.
But they're also, I could see them talking to each other,
Yeah.
like hyping one another up and just being like, oh yeah, we got this, blah, 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 whatever stupidity they just said, because they're dumb. I don't know. I'm so disturbed.
But there's worse. So
Oh
that
my
was
God.
shitty. Another tape that was found that was recorded on the day of the murder was of Brian walking down the school hallway towards Cassie, who was at her locker. Brian walked right up to her and said hi, and she said hi back. And it's just absolutely haunting to watch because you see her and just, you know what's going to happen to her, and it's horrible. And
Wow.
Another tape was of the two losers in class again, the day of the murder again, where they were writing out their quote, death list of people they were planning to murder. Again, this is not an empty classroom. The teacher is in the room. Okay. They mentioned how they had failed 8 times so far in murdering anyone because every time they had gone to their intended victim's home, their parent was home or they themselves weren't home. Eight times prior.
Wow.
They even said, quote, for all you future serial killers watching this, as if this video and their dumbasses would go down in history for the best way to murder someone. They really thought, okay? For all you serial killers out there. Okay. And lastly, on this tape, they state that they were going to murder Cassie that night because she was going to be alone and that they were sorry to her family, but she had to be the one. Uh-huh.
Wow.
And lastly, right before the murder, they film another segment at 9:53 p.m. on September 22nd, 2006. Okay, this is the night of the murder.
Mm-hmm.
Brian says, we're here in this car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in that house just down the street. Tori replies, we just talked to them. We were there for an hour, but Brian says, we checked out the whole house. We know there's a lot of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors. It's all unlocked. Now we just wait. And we're really nervous right now, but we're ready. And then Tori says, we're listening to the greatest rock band ever right now. Brian says, we waited for this a long time. And then Tori says, Pink Floyd,
Cool.
before we commit the ultimate crime of murder. And then
Wow.
Brian says, we waited for this a long time. And then Tori says, a long time. Brian ends the tape by saying, stay tuned. So these evil idiots who thought they were so sneaky, brilliant, and pretty much Billy Loomis in the flesh essentially
Mm-hmm.
gift wrapped the slam dunk evidence the prosecutors would use to put them away for life. I mean, how could you explain away the taped confessions, the planning, the weapons?
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
the boys, so like the police, like, you're arrested and you're
Mm-hmm.
charged with murder. Okay.
Yeah.
And they had separate trials set for them, okay, with Brian's beginning first in April of 2007. And I should note that thankfully they were both tried as adults, even though they were only
Good.
16 at the time of the murder. Brian was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. His defense lawyer argued that the evidence showed that Brian did not intend to murder Cassie and that he was under the impression that they were making a horror movie. During the trial, it came out that Brian was
Mm.
heavily influenced and adored Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the Columbine murderers, and looked up to them. And so, unfortunately for
Dang.
his dumbass, the jury got to hear the confessions, including Brian admitting to stabbing Cassie in the throat. Needless to say, he was quickly found guilty. Now, Tori's trial began in May of that same year, and he had a similar defense, claiming he had no idea what happened, blah, 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 blah. And it came out that he had a fascination with knives, was also obsessed with the Columbine killers,
Mm-hmm.
loved horror movies, especially the Scream movies, and was super into the death metal band Slipknot. I should
Mm-hmm.
also note that the knife used to commit the crime, okay, so he had his fascination with knives. He
Mm-hmm.
had a friend, an older friend that was 18, that he contacted, like, hey, can you get me this knife? It was at a pawn shop and you have to be 18 and over to get it. The friend
Mm-hmm.
probably was like, oh, this is probably for his collection. So he got him the
Right.
knife. Okay. I mean, with his money, with Tori's
Mm-hmm.
money, but that's how that knife came to be.
Wow.
So again, the evidence was alarming, and so the jury did not stutter and found Tori guilty on June 8th, 2007. Each boy received a mandatory life sentence on August 31st, 2007, without the possibility of parole, and 30 years to life for the conspiracy to commit murder.
Good.
They are both serving their time at the Idaho State Correctional Institute. Now, both Brian and Tori actually tried to appeal their sentences a few years ago, actually, and a couple of times, but it was denied each time by the Idaho Supreme Court. Karma really is that bitch. And I feel I need to end this with a quote by none other than Billy Loomis himself, okay? Quote, now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. End
Mm.
Because,
But
yes, movies and music for that matter don't create psychos. That evil
exactly.
was in you all along. And
Hmm.
that, my friends, is the Scream murder. What are your thoughts?
Wow. I'm so annoyed. But before I give my thoughts, I have a question. What happened to Matt?
Matt was he was
The-
cleared. He
Okay.
was cleared. I'm sure like they thought it was weird that he didn't have any reaction whatsoever,
Hmm.
but as you saw, like the boy, like he pointed them in the direction of the two boys, and then it just
Hmm.
all unraveled from there. I do believe he testified,
Hmm.
but that's it. He wasn't like charged or anything because he didn't do anything wrong.
Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe he was just shocked.
I think
Maybe it was
so.
just a lot.
Because we never know how someone's going to react when somebody like dies, or like you can't really control that. And I think now, so this was like early 2000s, and I think now they take that into consideration. I see
Hmm.
that a lot in SVU, how
Hmm.
you just don't know. Like some
Right.
people who are assaulted, like they just go numb. Some
Yeah.
react a different way. So it's like it's not really enough to be like, well, he didn't cry. Maybe he just
Right.
not a crier, you know?
And he probably was reflecting on the fact of like, what if I stayed? Maybe
Yeah,
this wouldn't have happened.
I'm
Or maybe it would have been
sure.
me,
Or
you know?
his mom was like, fuck, I should have let, but then no, because my son could have been killed.
Hmm. I would have been pissed at my mom.
And then let's not even talk about like the poor Contreras family. So I read
Yeah.
that so they quickly moved out of there. I mean, I can't imagine that was their dream house. They barely lived there. And I think they're still trying. They haven't even been able to sell the home yet because,
Hmm.
you know, it's famous. It
Yeah.
it's known that someone was murdered there. It's horrible. And his daughter was like the little girl that discovered her cousin, deep
Mm.
depression,
Oh, I'm
struggled,
sure.
so
Oh
many
my God.
struggles.
So sad. I mean, and when you look at her, she looks so sweet,
Hmm.
and that's why it's so scary and that's the thing, when I think about them being in class talking about these things
Hmm.
out in the open. And yeah, they're saying it's for a movie. But looking at these kids, you can't tell me they didn't have other things that they did along the way. They don't look like straight and narrow kind of kids. They look
No,
like shit disturbers.
exactly.
And I don't know. I mean, you don't want to be that kid or that person either that tells on people, especially when you're that age. You don't want to be a snitch, right?
Right.
But how do you decipher whether or not someone's being real or someone's just bluffing or making a movie?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. This is so sad on so many levels. It's terrifying. This is the kind of story that my nightmares are made up of, like, for real. The fact that I give her credit for staying alone, because I would have called my
Yeah.
mom
I
and
would
been
have
like,
dipped.
you need to tell my aunt and uncle I can't stay. I'm going to bring the dogs with me, but I'm going to go stay at the house because this is
Exactly.
creepy. And I want to say, like with Matt, I would be pissed that he didn't go into the garage and check before he left. Although it probably wouldn't have ended well either. They probably would have gutted him and then went up and killed her and chased her down the freaking front
Yeah,
driveway, right? But that I don't I know. I'm sure there's tons of scenarios that has gone
totally.
through Matt's head about what he could have done differently that night.
And
But
and I left out on purpose because I don't
mhm,
want to give them any light.
mhm,
They're fucking dumbass parents, not
mhm.
Cassie's. I'm talking about the boys. They were
Oh,
like,
completely.
they were, they were fine, like never any concern. Shut up.
And that's always the case. Always the case. Parents always have to, when your kids are shitty, why do parents defend them?
I
Because if
don't
my
know.
kid was shitty, I would be like, no, we got to fix this and you're going to go apologize.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to defend them. When your kid's a jerk.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And a lot of it is because chances are the parents are just as much jerk faces as your freaking little spawn.
Hmm.
you know? And it's just like, ugh, I don't know. It's so heart-wrenching. It is terrifying.
And it's just creepy, the similarities, and all, but also like for them to like sit and blame Scream, like, okay, you're a loser and you could never be Billy Loomis. You're more like Stu,
And
but
that's the thing, was it, and even then, even blaming Scream, okay, that's still premeditated. You still
exactly.
planned it out.
Well,
So,
that's that whole defense. Like they blame, I think it was Slipknot. And what's that? The Insane Clown Posse. Like so
mhm.
many like murderers, like that has been their defense. Like, well, I was influenced by, the music. Shut the fuck
No,
up.
I'm
Like I even
sorry.
think Pink Floyd, maybe it's this
Big
case that
time.
I'm thinking of, but like what? No,
Mhm.
do not blame music.
Yeah, because I've heard a few things about Pink Floyd, it being that they said he was like a devil worshiper. I don't know,
Yeah.
or something to that effect. Or there was something about Pink Floyd, and I know there's a couple accounts that I've heard about people saying things about his music, you know, influencing things, right?
Right.
But come on, that's just an excuse. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna, just because a artist tells me to go do something or their music is demonic doesn't mean that I'm sorry, no. That's so stupid. And I think that's the part with the justice system that irritates me. And I worked in the court a while ago, and that was one of the bigger things that I would always hear from the people that I was working with that worked closely with even like defense attorneys in murder cases, in like rape cases. It was disturbing sometimes to hear, like, if I was an attorney, I don't know if I could ever be a defense attorney,
I
because
agree.
the things that you have to train the defendant, your client, to try and get them lesser time, all the talks that you talk with them over hours and hours until the time of the trial,
Mm,
you're literally kind of teaching them to, in a roundabout way, convince the jury that, because they know by just one thing, that's all it'll take, if to show that either you were crazy or you didn't think ahead of time to do this. It was something
right.
that just happened. In reality, the intent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that gets me, is that you're either guilty or not. And your attorney should not be trying to influence you in any way, even though I know that goes against their whole ethics and they're not supposed to. It
Right.
still happens, because they want their defendant to get them less time,
Exactly.
and it's just like, okay, I can't tell you this, but you can do this. You know what I mean? And like in this case, these kids were freaking assholes. And thank God they tried them as adults.
I agree. Because, ooh, it could have been so different. They served 10 years or whatever.
What is the cutoff? Because I know there's a time frame as to when a kid can be tried as an adult. And I know it depends on their circumstances, whether or not like they've raped someone or they've murdered or whatever. But they were 16, you said 16 or
Yes.
7. So like, but I know there's been some cases where kids have been even younger
Yes.
and have been tried as an adult.
Because they look at the severity of the crime. And also, I think
Mhm.
it depends on the state.
Mm. See, again, why does it matter what state we're in?
Exactly.
You're still committing it in the
Exactly.
US, and our laws should be consistent from state to state to state.
I
Like, I
know.
shouldn't have to worry if I get pulled over in, Tallahassee, that I'm going
Yeah.
to be locked up because I was going 80, but in California, you just get a ticket. Like, it doesn't
So
make
real.
sense.
Yeah.
It's to me, that's the effed up part about our judicial system, is there's no consistency whatsoever.
No.
And with cases like this, like, thank God they tried them as an adult, because I don't know, would they get 30 years to life? Is that what they got, you said?
Yes. But it was life, like no parole. Like,
Good. But still, that means they'll be what, 47 when they
I
get out?
apologize. No, no, no. They received life sentences, but
Oh,
then for
so,
the conspiracy to commit the crime, for
uh-huh.
that one, so they already are fucked, right? But the
Oh,
conspiracy to commit murder, they received 30 with no
oh
chance of
shit.
parole.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
not getting out, even though they
Good.
tried to appeal. Like, bitch, no.
No, man, and I swear.
And
That's
now
so insane to me.
they get to live with the knowledge that everyone thinks like first of all, may Cassie rest in peace. Like it
Yeah.
sucks that there was a victim in this case, but like they're gonna be known as being the world's stupidest people. Like the way they have no knowledge of serial killers. First of all, they
Mm-mm.
try to act all big
None.
and bad,
Mhm.
and how embarrassing! Like the 2x2 and 3x3. Like how cliche. Like are they gonna be like call a spade a spade? Well, the grass is greener on the other side, or like the sun always rises, or Hakuna Matata. Like, what
Right,
the fuck?
exactly. They're so dumb. So
Yeah.
dumb. And I loved how all the killers that they were talking about, like, straight up murdered more than one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're freaking serial killers. You guys
Exactly.
killed one girl.
Like you're dismissed, sir. Like you even said in your video, like we failed 8 times prior. Like, yeah, you're a
Ugh,
failure.
yeah, exactly. And oh, they just look nasty. They look like they smell.
Yep.
Okay. They look like they look like the kind of kid that never brushes their teeth. They wake up, okay, early in the morning, just wake up, probably slept in their clothes, didn't brush their teeth, didn't wash their face, go to school, and just look gross. They're
Yeah.
just nasty
They
looking.
are nasty looking. Yep.
Their appearance fits their soul.
Yep.
Ugh. Man, great job, Steph, though. That was awesome. That really, it creeped me out because those are things that just scare me.
Yeah. Like I bet you'll never let the baby house sit anyone.
No, because I remember I used to house sit for a lady in Pacifica, and she lived in a place in Pacifica. I forgot the name of the area, but it's covered with trees. So like it's like this little town. It reminds me of like you're in fairyland
Oh
because
wow.
there's literally just trees all over to where you don't even see the sun because there's
Wow.
so many trees. So she would have me go and babysit her granddaughter sometimes when she would take care of her. And my mom would drop me off and they would be like, okay, we'll be back, by 10. But it was the kind of house where it was dark, like even inside, it was very woody and it was dark. And the thing was, is that the wind would have like the trees hitting the windows and you would hear things. And she had a lot of like curio cabinets with like knickknacks in it. And
No.
like,
I'm already
I'm
creeped
just
out.
right to where I'd be like 10 minutes in and I'd be calling my mom, be like, can you please come over and like hang out until they come? Cause I can't stay here by myself.
Oh my be yeah, I
I
don't
can't
blame
do
you.
it.
Mm-mm.
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 No, because I don't even like staying by myself. Like if I have to, it's fine. I don't need someone, but it's still, your mind wanders.
Who are you talking
Mhm.
to? That's why I have to fall asleep these past nights with Girls like playing in the background and a
Hmm.
night light because I'm a
Yeah,
chicken.
exactly. No, I get it. I'd
Especially last
I'd
night when
be
I
over
was
there
finishing
knocking them.
writing this. Like I was like, oh,
Oh no. See? No, no, no.
because I think about down here
Hmm.
and I think about that door.
Yes, exactly. I get it. I totally get it. That's just frightening. But like I said, fantastic job, Steph. I never heard of this case. And it's saying I was reading it happened what in
6,
2006?
yeah.
Wow. That's so lame
Which
though.
is how many years after 1996? 10?
10.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's nuts.
Which is when the movie came out. It's insane. The
But
similarities
when you
are
think about it though, like I could see, and I'm surprised, like with scary movies and stuff, I'm sure there's been a lot of like copycats that try to like
totally.
do, the same thing that they've read about or they've
Yeah.
heard, you know? Oh, no, 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 no,
Mm-mm.
no.
No, no,
Wow.
no.
No, phenomenal job
Thank
though.
you, my little sweet. That was
That
really
was
fun to
great.
talk with you about and get your reaction. You always get the best reactions. And folks, if you want to see her reactions, tune in on YouTube.
I have to tell you this real quick. Last night, my mom fell asleep. She fell asleep, she said at like 12 or midnight,
What?
and she was looking on her phone. So she fell asleep with her phone in her hand, right? And we've all fallen
Oh my
asleep where we
God.
fall asleep and we have our finger on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it was on our stories. So she went with me because I'm a big baby and I don't want to go by myself to the foot doctor today. So she's like, Justine, I have to tell you this story. And I'm
What?
like, what happened? She's like, well, I fell asleep last night. And it was the scariest thing because I woke up. And when I woke up, I looked at my phone and this mask was staring back at me, this white mask. And it was dark. And I was like, hurried up and I like closed it out of my phone and I put my phone down and I turned it off. And I was like, Lord, I rebuke everything.
Oh my
Like,
God.
and she was freaking out. And I was like, hold up. So I go on my stories. I'm like, was it this one? And she goes, yeah, that's it. I go, that was on my stories
Oh
because
my
that was from the movie
God.
Scream. And we put it
And the
on there as
creepy music that's
my
tore
mom
up.
was so horrified.
I don't
She's like,
blame
I didn't even know
her.
what that was. And it was so dark in the room. And I
Yeah.
was like, Lord, and I was praying. I was praying, like, please, I didn't mean to press on that.
Oy.
And I was like, oh my gosh, mom. I was like, you should have just called me. I would have told you. It wasn't your fault. And she's like, that is such a scary face. And
It
you know what?
is.
When we see it in public or like even on Halloween, it's okay. But like that or the thought of it, it's creepy,
Yeah.
you know?
Ew,
So
okay.
yeah. So I just had to share that funny
Happy
story.
times
But
are here again.
yes, they are. Oh God. But great job, Steph.
Thank you, my
And I
little
can't wait for
sweets.
everyone to hear it.
Oh, I'm excited too. And thank you for chatting with me. And don't forget, next week we're still in spooky week. So we're going to be spooking
Mhm.
it up, maybe with some Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Ooh,
Hint, hint,
yes.
hint. And then
Right?
there's a brand new episode of Fridays with Me.
Oh yeah.
I-
Oh man, and I don't know. That's I'm thinking it's going to be a spooky,
oh,
realistic topic.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, because you know what?
intrigue.
Let's just say the things that parents do to children is spooky in itself.
Uh-huh. And that's the only tidbit you're getting. So
Mm-hmm.
tune in next Friday. But
Exactly.
this has been another episode of 90s Crime Talk with Steph / Totally 90s podcast. Thank you so much for
Mm-hmm.
listening. Thank you to my beauteous co-host
No.
and just for being here and vibing and commenting. And you're just, I love you. And till next time,
Oh
catch
yeah.
you on the flip side.
Peace out, buddies.
Stay safe.
For real.